You
Yes,
did that. I saw you. So you can go.
I can go next.
All right.
Okay, so I'm doing Wellmont Cancer Institute.
Okay.
All right. So it's like embracing hope, giving those who are with cancer, and giving the audience a glimpse that cancer patients shouldn't lose hope. So let's give them hope and strength.
And you know you're just doing the top one.
Mm-hmm.
Right, okay.
Ask anyone with cancer about hope, and they will likely say, embrace it and never let it go. We think cancer treatment should begin and end with hope, because hope is strength. Hope is optimism. A glimmer of it makes us fighters and survivors. With hope comes the possibility of living out dreams and outliving cancer. Introducing Wellmont Cancer Institute, Strength for Today, Hope for Tomorrow.
You have a really nice voice.
Thank you.
And it's a good commercial voice.
Thank you.
So I have a couple of suggestions for you. Well, the first thing is how do you pronounce ASK?
Ask?
Ask.
Ask.
Ask. Yeah, make sure you get the letters in the right order, because sometimes we say axe. And that's not, it's got to be ask. Okay.
Ask.
That was the first thing. I heard it as axe. I don't know if you did. And sometimes my ears don't. Did you hear it too?
Yeah.
Kozmo? Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So your first line is, and then this applies to all of you guys, so you should all listen to this. The first line of copy in a commercial is really, really important, because it's the way you're connecting to these people. And if you don't get them on the first line, you may not get them later, or you may get them later and they go, what the heck was that about? You know? So you kind of have to reach out and grab a hold of people on the first line. So let's talk about that first line, and let's take it just separately, Shanice. Say that first line and say it in a way that you think is going to reach out and connect with the people that are listening to you.
Okay. Ask anyone. Okay, did I say that word right? Ask?
You did.
Okay, because I've been mentally saying ask. And I have people tell me about ask. So, okay. Ask with, wait, let me start over. Ask
Take
anyone.
breath. Take a breath.
Take a breath.
Because sometimes when you bobble a couple times at the beginning, it gets you kind of nervous and stressed out. So I'm asking you to just relax a little bit. This is we're just all buddies here. We're all neighbors. We're all friends. And we're just doing this not as a competition. We're doing this to help everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead. Anytime.
Ask anyone with cancer about hope, and they'll likely say, embrace it and never let it go.
Okay, hold on. Now, I know there's no quotation mark at the end of a never let it go, but I'm presuming that is it should have one. It doesn't have one. So that you want to take that, embrace it and never let it go, and you want to separate it out from the rest of the line that you're talking about, right? So how would you say embrace it and never let it go? Just use that, say that separately, and give us your read on that phrase only.
Embrace it and never let it go.
Okay, that's very nice.
Wow.
Let me ask you about your range of your voice. Are you always high?
Yes, unfortunately.
Okay. No, that's not unfortunate. We just need to know where you are. That's all. And then make it your strength. Can you go a little lower on embrace?
Yes.
So say it again and start it with more like embrace it.
Embrace
and
it.
And never let it go, you know.
Embrace it and never let it go.
Yeah. See, for some reason, that lower range, I believe that more. It's more real to me instead of it being high. Now, I don't know why, but that's just my ears.
It's
Does
the nature
everybody
of the copy.
feel the same way?
It's the copy.
Mm-hmm.
it's good to go a little lower on that. And it separates it out from the rest of your copy, which you're doing in your regular, normal voice, right? Okay, so now
I got goosebumps then.
Now that you, isn't that nice? And now that you've taken that phrase away from the rest of that line, and you've made this be something that is very emotionally laden, right? But hopeful. Mm-hmm. So now we got to take our time with this copy. I know it says 30 seconds, and I know, but unless they say to me, she's got to read it in 30 seconds, for your audition, I don't care if you take longer, if it makes the copy sing a little bit more. Because we'll speed it up later. So take your time. So your second line, you want to make sure you take a pause after begin, and then after end. And then you got to make hope sound like hope. Okay? So let's read the whole thing with the understanding that we're going to really make an imprint with this.
And let me just interject a quick question for Shanice before you go into this next read, okay?
Yes.
This is going to be a slightly personal question, okay? Do you know or have had a friend or relative that has suffered or passed away from cancer?
Yes.
Okay. Remember what I said earlier about deep emotions and flashback and certain real parts of life?
I do.
Okay.
With that thought in mind, it's a great thought.
Let's pull up a little bit of that. Take your time.
Ask anyone with cancer about hope, and they'll likely say, embrace it and never let it go. We think cancer treatment should begin and end with hope, because hope is strength, hope is optimism. A glimmer of hope, a mere glimmer of it, makes us fighters and survivors. With hope comes the possibilities of living out dreams and outliving cancer. Introducing the Well-Met Cancer Institute. Strength for today, hope for tomorrow.
Woo! I'm telling you, that was just really... Look awesome. At Leanna's...
That was awesome.
Crazy.
Thank you. I thought about my grandpa. He passed away, and...
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
My grandfather passed away from prostate cancer.
Same.
In 1991.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And he was such a angelic spirit. We still, my father and I, will probably come to tears if we talk about him more than 5 minutes. So I had a dream about him the other night.
Wow.
And I dreamt that I was talking to my grandfather. I told him I loved him. And his eyes lit up like I'd never seen before. You see? So imagine if I had that, if that was a job for me this week, and I had to record this on Friday. That dream happened on Wednesday night. Wow. I had the clients and the engineers crying in the studio by the time I'm done. You know what I mean?
I do.
Yes, absolutely. And your lower range, Shanice, is just wonderful. So I say, when you start to do your reads and you're vocalizing scripts, remember that if it calls for it, if it doesn't call for young, perky, happy, the higher range is great for that. But if it's something that's sentimental or storytelling, you might think about going into that little lower range. It relaxes you a little bit more, and it really makes your words hit home.
Now,
may I?
Yeah. Sure.
Go ahead, Dan.
I just wanted to kind of just piggyback on that a little bit, because her last read, I had to turn the video off because I needed to towel my eyes here. That last hope that she hit, it was, she went low with that. And I felt it. I mean, I felt it. I mean, that.
And that's what you want, Shanice.
Yeah.
That's the visceral reaction you want.
Now, Shanice, I want you to give it one more pass, but remember the technique that we talked about last week? when we're dealing with urgent reads,
yes,
or think more serious? What do we?
Urgent is like very thorough.
So, yeah, free up one of those hands.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to ball that fist up, clench that thumb. I mean, if you need to hold a copy, that's fine, but at least one hand needs to be free. And I want you to take it from the top, and with Sally's direction, keep that hand focused and drive that tension. Someone needs to write a check for cancer research. It's going to be your voice that gets them to get to that pen, to that check. Someone is laying in a hospital bed tonight. And if they don't get their head right and put their head in the game, when their family comes and sees them tomorrow, they won't have any hope. But it's because of your message that the family heard riding to the hospital that's going to make them go in and look not so dry-eyed and give that person some hope because they heard your voice. Go ahead.
Ask anyone with cancer about hope, and they'll likely say, embrace it and never let it go. We think cancer treatment should begin and end with hope, because hope is strength. Hope is optimism. A mere glimmer of it makes us fighters and survivors. With hope comes the possibility of living out dreams and outliving cancer. Introducing the Wellmont Cancer Institute. Strength for today, hope for tomorrow.
Good.
She took it. I felt that urgency. That was a good note, Kozmo.
Thank you. Yeah, she really has a great dynamism in her range, and once she learns how to use it and move back and forth, she's really going to be killing it. Yeah.
It shows the range. All right, well, let's get Leanne, and then I have one last thing I want to say before I leave the class after we deal with Leanne, which you just made me come to think about. Leanne, what is your copy, honey?
Well, I was going to do the cancer commercial, but I don't want to take that sunlight away from Shanice with what she just read. I can do the McDonald's.
Yeah, that's a good one. Let's do the McDonald's one.
But, it has nothing to do with how the last person read or